So Kachuk signed. That's pretty cool, eh?
We're gonna do the Kachuk conversation. Yeah, it's interesting contract.
So it wasn't Ottawa won. I think we can say this deal somehow,
Did they?
because it is a 7 year contract. I don't believe there were any signing bonuses in there
No, which
because
is
you
normal
cheap bastards.
because Eugene's not gonna hand out $10 million in one day. It's just not gonna happen.
I'm trying to bring him up here. Does Calf really not have it up yet?
No, they got to. They got to.
Oh no, he's attending. Oh, it's registration pending. That's why.
Oh,
So the cap hit is. It's weird because he signed a few like a day late.
literally 2 days, like a day late.
So this year the cap hit is 8.3 with some spare change, and it goes down to $8.2 million. 7 years. There's trade protection in the last 3 years. No signing bonuses. No sort of performance bonuses. He goes the full term with Ottawa. But it is definitely the Ottawa tax.
It's the Ottawa tax. Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I think it is a little bit of an overpayment. I mean, if we're looking at the back half of that deal, maybe it's not with the cap going up, and obviously him being 22 years old, there's lots of room for improvement. It's just right now it's a little bit of an overpayment, but I made this argument before. I'm a strong believer that it's better to overpay your stars than it is to overpay your middle six guys. I mean, there's two guys in particular we saw this summer, one being Barclay Goodrow, and maybe eventually we'll get to that point with Blake Coleman as well. Those guys you don't want to overpay. I'd much rather overpay a Brady Tkachuk than, I don't know, and like Chris Tierney.
Yeah.
Right.
So that takes him up to like 29 too. So you're getting some really good years, and he can still. The way Kachuk plays is someone's going to give him 8 year deal at the end of that, 7 years ish, and it's going to be awful. That or he gets traded in 2025 before his no move clause kicks in. It's a full no move clause, by the way.
You have the contract structure up?
I do.
Is it not weird that it's middle loaded?
A little bit. It's again maybe. So yeah, the salary is $10 million. Oh wow, yeah. You think maybe that was a thing of like you're gonna like people are gonna have to pay me my most right before you try to trade me, sorry, is it goes up from 6.5 to 10.5, 10.5, 10.5 down to 8.5. Yeah, right as the trade protection kicks in too is when it's still at its highest. That's interesting.
Like,
Minors.
it's a very minor. It's just odd.
I think with Ottawa in that ownership situation, I don't think there is a better place to sort of nitpick a contract than with the signing bonuses and that. But hey, at least just Sens fans, yeah, I don't think he's worth eight. Like again, Habs Leafs fans here, you don't like it, suck it. He isn't as good as Nylander or Suzuki.
You said it. You said Nylander. You said Nylander.
I'm doing it, man. The fact that he's getting paid more than the Habs' first line center, and honestly, I think you can say when he's on, one of the most, if not the most talented players on the Leafs. And he's a winger. I get it. You know me. I don't like overpaying wingers. I don't think it's right. I don't think that's how you have a. Obviously, Kucherov and Marner are different, but Tkachuk ain't Kucherov or Marner. Like even like Josh Anderson getting 5.5 was a bit like oh gosh. And I mean, is Brady Tkachuk really $3 million, $4 million better than Tom Wilson and Josh Anderson? Maybe, but $8 million? That's steep for me. It's steep. I don't like it.
I think you're clearly much more critical of the contract than me, and I think you make some really good points. Like again, like we had this conversation with Mitch Marner. It's an overpayment. I'd rather overpay the stars, but again, we know that the role we've learned that the role of the center is more important than the winger, unfortunately. And
Yep.
that's how you're going to be compensated. I think you're right. There is a little bit of the auto tax here. And I think he protected himself by middle loading that deal for sure.
Yeah.
Because if he wants to stay in Ottawa, and by all accounts, he likes Ottawa. Remember when they drafted him, Elliot Friedman was saying there was the rumblings and rumors that maybe he wasn't going to be a fan of it. And he was. So good for Ottawa for that. Again, like, they have so much cap space.
Yeah.
Like,
hey, by the way, like, Erik Karlsson liked it there. Why did he leave? They're cheap. I mean,
again,
look what happened. Like, good hindsight wise, because of what happened to Karlsson, but still.
Yeah, it's just you're right in a sense that Ottawa did win here because they got the 7 years, and good for them, man. Because I don't, and Pierre Dorian would probably admit this if we gave him truth serum. Who the hell knows what's going to happen in the next year or two with Eugene? Like, things happen. Aren't they supposed to be spending to the cap by now?
Yeah, that was the thing. Yeah,
and also Toronto has no defense, but whatever, that's fine.